And now, ladies and gentlemen, it gives me great pleasure to introduce to you our singing star, Miss Kitty Reed.
Hello world, this is Miss Kitty Reed. We've had the America's 250 celebration, we've had the big boy, and now we have Miss Kitty Reed's Christmas book. I'm here with Summer to discuss our Christmas book of the summer, The Sound of Sleigh Bells by Cindy Woodsmall. Beth Hertzler wears only black, a sign of mourning for her deceased fiancé that she should have ended months ago. Beth has been keeping quiet about the details of Henry's death and their relationship. She has decided to never marry and dedicates her life to running a large store that sells many Amish products. On a business trip, Beth sees a man and is instantly attracted to him, much like her instant attraction to a carving she finds in a store of Amish children playing in the snow. She buys it and asks about the carver, who the owner of the store refers to as an old man. Beth's bishop forbids her from selling items from the old man as they depict people, but Beth is deeply moved by the carving. Her Aunt Lizzie, who runs the store with her and has also never married, goes to see the old man, learning he is actually a young man named Jonah. Lizzie tells Jonah to write to her, but actually sets him up to write to Beth. Beth and Jonah begin the friendship by mail, but Jonah thinks he is writing to an older woman, the one that he met, and Beth thinks she is writing to an old man. Jonah senses Beth has sorrow in her life, and he slowly gets her to open up, as he was seriously injured when he was young. He now walks with a cane and lost 2 fingers. Jonah feels something is off, and eventually Lizzie tells him the truth about who he is writing to. Lizzie convinces Jonah to come to an Amish gathering in her house, but he is always interrupted when he tries to tell Beth the truth. Beth sets up a business deal for Jonah and goes to the old man's house to tell him, but she finds out the truth of who she's actually been in communication with. She's very angry and leaves, but then comes back wanting to end their friendship on peaceful terms. She tells Jonah the truth about Henry, that he was abusive, and when she told him she wouldn't marry him, he grabbed her and she fought back. She ran away from Henry, who was lying injured in the mud. Overnight, he fell into the river and drowned. The police never charged her, but told her not to tell anyone what happened or about Henry's true nature. She has harbored guilt over killing Henry ever since. Jonah tells her how his brother jokingly chased him with his sleigh carrying their other siblings. When it went off course, Jonah pulled the sleigh back and saved his siblings, but became seriously injured. Beth decides not to continue talking to Jonah, but begins her healing journey, telling her family and bishop what happened, and working on letting love and fun into her life again. She begins talking to Jonah once again, often calling for long talks. On Christmas Eve, Beth tries to surprise Jonah at his house, but she and her driver get stuck in a motel due to heavy snow. Jonah learns what happened from calling and getting Lizzie instead, and comes to the motel in a sleigh. Beth loves sleigh rides, but this is the sleigh Jonah was injured from. He takes her to his house. There, they agree to get married and start a new life of love and healing together. The end. This was a nice book about emotional healing that had a strong Christmas theme, but did not overdo the Christmas elements. I appreciated the dichotomy between Jonah, who had moved far along his healing journey and found peace, and Beth, who was just beginning. This was a short book, not even 200 pages, but in my experience, Amish authors can tend to have too much going on, which bogs down a longer book, but can work well in a shorter one. There was a lot, but it was not too much here. The book really had a missed opportunity with Jonah moving to Pennsylvania for Beth. In the end, that is the decision that goes forward, that Jonah will move to Beth and move his life there rather than her giving up working at the store and the new relationship she's found with her family. We got beautiful descriptions of Jonah's cabin in the woods that he made himself. Why did we need that unless it was where Beth would end up? Beth could have been close to Jonah's family, as she was growing to be, instead of living alone and somewhat isolated as she did at the store. I also think Beth should have left the store because her worst coping mechanism was burying herself in work. It would have been a huge step along her healing journey to be able to leave the store for new opportunities and new love. Throughout the book, she worked with another store owner when she set up the contracts with Jonah, and she could have taken a job with him and abandoned the store that sucks up so much of her time in Pennsylvania. Also, the issue with the bishop forbidding carving people was never resolved. This is going to be Jonah's bishop after all, so what will happen to him and his work? I will give this book a 5 out of 7. Overall, this is a good, loving story for Christmas or any time. Our next book will be Plain Proposal by Beth Wiseman. Please check with your local library to see if they have it on the shelves. If not, see if you can get it through interlibrary loan. This has been Amish Book Club with Miss Kitty Reed. This is Miss Kitty Reed and Summer signing off. See you later on Amish Book Club.
Living in the rhythm that I'm speaking of. You'll be happy in your work if you're in love. You'll be happy in your work if you're in love.